Hi there, Sandra here from Creating in Spain. First time I've been in my craft room for quite a long time, and it's probably not going to be a long video because I'm not overly comfortable even now. Okay, so broke my leg in case you didn't realise. Yeah, going for a walk to keep fit, would you believe? Tripped over the pavement, went flying, broke my leg. Right, so I'm in Procreate and I'm using my stencil template that I posted on my Facebook groups a little while ago. The whole idea of this template is that it's a layered stencil, so you can make as many layers as you wish, pile them up on top of each other and do whatever your heart's desire. So you notice that this particular shape has got, and it's a 15 centimetre square one, this one, has got dots in the four corners, and that's so you can line it up when you finished it. So if I come into the layers panel, what I want to do is duplicate this for as many colours as I require. Okay, now I don't have to use them all, but I've got them there. Now this bottom layer, I'm going to switch it off so you can't see it, and I'm going to lock it. That just keeps it safe, out of the way. You can't see it, but it's there in case of emergencies. It's a fail-safe way of keeping your base protected. Whatever I do to this, when I close it out, that layer is still going to be there, and I can open it up and duplicate it or whatever. It makes life a lot easier if you don't have to worry about that. And I'm going to switch off all but the bottom layer, which is this one. I do not have a background colour. This is where you would have a background colour in, so that would be white in this particular case. I don't want it. I don't need to see it. I'm using the transparency of PNG, so I don't need it. Since I'm not actually going to be printing this, it's going to be cut out. It makes no difference at all what colours I apply. As long as it's a solid colour, I'm good to go. Now you notice on this particular one, I've got some guidelines in, and these are accessed via the wrench and the canvas button, and it's known as a drawing guide. If you go to edit drawing guide, which is below, you can change the options. I want a radial one at the moment because I'm doing a radial design. Pretty straightforward. Click on done, and that's my setup. So because I've got that on, each of these layers has got an assisted mark underneath it. You can see they're all assisted. If that assisted is not there, then you're not doing assisted drawing, and you need to be a bit more careful about what you're doing. Next thing to do is to choose a pen to work with or a brush. They're all called brushes, even though some of them are pens. And in this particular case, I'm on the calligraphy section and I'm going to be using a script brush. Now you can see what it does. When you press harder, you get a thicker line. It's a really nice one. I can see what size my brush is. That I think is pretty much okay. Just do that. Now this is where you adjust the size of the brush up or down. And this one here is transparency. We do not need to worry about transparency at the moment, but that is roughly, I think, where I wanted it. And so if I draw just one stroke, I've already got a pattern. If I put some more strokes in here, I've got even more of a pattern. So that might be my first layer. Okay. Now you notice these are a little bit, well, they look hand-drawn, and that's fine because maybe I want that effect. If I don't want it to be hand-drawn looking, what I can do, draw my line, hold it in place, and then it straightens it up. Okay, so if you draw and hold, it'll straighten. As long as you have that option set in your software, which is under preferences. So I'm going to take that away. So I want to draw on this layer. So I check that to make sure that it's actually switched on. You could be able to see it. And maybe this time, maybe I want to do it that way. And do another one. Make that one a bit straighter. There we go, there's another layer. And switch the next layer on, go to the next layer, choose a different colour again. And there we go. And I can do another layer, tap on it so you can see it, change the colour, go for yellow. Now what am I going to do this time? I'm going to go for a shape. So in here somewhere I've got shape. Ah, here we go, shapes. Now I spent a happy hour or two the other night making all these different brushes. It's very, very easy to make a brush, but that's what I spent some time doing. I'm going to go for this one. No, actually no, I won't, because it's not a solid cutout. That's no use for stenciling. What am I going to do? Okay, I've got a snowflake, that'll do. And I want to see how big my pattern's going to be. So if I do this, roughly get the idea. And if I do one here, not the best colour to see on this particular background. If I put the background colour in, you can see it better. There they are. But it's been done. So I've now got the snowflake there. Now, if I want to move that around, what I need to do is to make sure I've got my layer switched on. I can come up to this S here and I can do a freehand selection of something that I want to move. Then go to the transform tool, the arrow, and I can actually move that around. Okay. If I wanted to move all of them in one go, I would simply just select the actual layer, just the whole layer. But I could move them individually should I want to. I don't really want to move them. I'm going to delete that particular layer because maybe I decided I don't want it, so I swipe left and just go to delete. What have we got? Plants. What do I got under plants? Just want something very, very simple. Okay, so I've got a flower here, for example, and make that smaller and put a flower in. So all my different designs are on the different layers, and it's really, really simple to make that so that it exports as individual layers. You come over to the wrench and you go to share. Now at the top part of here we've got share image, and that will export the entire pattern, the whole page. But underneath we have share layers, and we have share layers PNG files, and that is what you want to choose. And when you export those and you send them to wherever it is you are sending them to, saving them to, whatever you're doing, you will get the individual layers of the design, which means that your stencil is fully made. The other thing I was going to show you is how to make a brush in the first place. Now, to make most brushes, what I do is I select one of my favorites, which is, there it is, and I go for a fixed width, smooth operator or monoline, whatever. Just go for monoline, doesn't make much difference. And I will go for a white brush. So if I go to the disc and I go right to the top, double tap, I'll get white. So I've got a white brush. I'm going to go to my gallery, and I'm going to go to this one which is labelled as Untitled Artwork. It's 3000 pixels by 3000 pixels, and this is my basic brush template with a black background. You want the black background on there. So if I come in here, you can see I've got nothing on here, no guides, no whatever. Let's say I want to do a template of a leaf, for example, for a stamped image. It's very, very easy. I can draw my leaf design, whatever shape I choose, like so. I can fill that with white. Now if I want the veins, then I can use the eraser tool. If I tap it twice, that should use the tool that I used to draw. Let's see if it's going to do that. Yeah, there we go. And I can do, whoops, I can do various veins on it, like that. I then go to the wrench and I go to add and I go to copy. So that has copied it. And then come up to my brushes, tap on that twice, and I go to wherever I want to put it. Now I might go to plants in this case because it's obviously a leaf. Click on the plus. So I go to shape. Don't worry about the path at the moment. Go to shape. When you do this, you see the shape, which is the basic one which you get normally. So you go to edit, you go to import, and you go to paste because we already copied it. So now we pasted it. And then you click done, and it's done it. Now we can come up to stroke path, and if I do this, you don't see anything because it's, no, this is rubbish. But this is because there's no space between them. Once you put space in between, you can see it's a leaf. Now you notice in this particular case, we have a fade out from paler to darker. This is something you get automatically on every brush that you put in until you go to the Apple Pencil. Where is it? Aha, here we go. Pressure maximum. We put this all the way down to none. Now it seems counterintuitive to me that you put the opacity right down. But basically what it means is that the pressure doesn't alter the opacity at all. So what I'm doing now, there's no alteration in the opacity of that. It's going to be fully black whenever I use it. If, however, I put the opacity up, we can see that when I press harder or lighter, it goes lighter to darker, however hard I press. So the pressure then affects it, but if I put that down to 0, then it doesn't. The drawing pad that you got here to test your brushes, you can clear just by clicking on clear here. And you can use different colours to test out your brush if you feel like it. This is very handy if you are actually doing painting with your brush because we have colour dynamics in here as well, where we can mess around with the colour, we can get different colours along with the stroke. Don't worry about that at the moment. So you have the stroke path and you can alter the spacing. Okay. Don't worry about the jitter and fall off. The shape, we're not bothering with anything else apart from just a plain shape at the moment. The next one you want to do is the pressure, the opacity one, which we've just done. The properties, use stamp preview if you want to see what the actual design is. Now we can change the maximum size, it's really, really big. But if you're going to do that, take the preview size down because otherwise you probably won't see the entire shape in your preview. And again, you can alter all these things, which you would probably do if you were doing painting with it. But if you're using it to cut shapes, then you're not doing that. About this brush allows you to title it, sign it with your name, and then you just go done. And it's there. So now if I go to my gallery and I just pick up screen size, for example, it doesn't make any difference, and I choose a colour like so. Oops, I got it on eraser, which doesn't help. There we go. Let's clear that because that was a bit big. Okay, so now I can do that. I can change the colour, I can change the size, etc, etc. And if I want it to be a continuous stroke, then I just go back into the brush by tapping on it and go to the stroke path and alter the spacing until I get them linked up as I might want them. Now there are other things you can do with the brush, like rotate the design and so on and so forth, but I won't go into that today. But that's how you make a brush. So the brush making is extremely easy, especially if all you want are things like squares and hearts and other solid shapes, which you would do if you're making stencils, because that's generally what we use. So that's it. That's how you can make your stencil and export it so that you have different layers as PNGs, and your cutter software will just trace them without any problem whatsoever. It's really that simple. Hope you've enjoyed watching this. I'll see you again hopefully fairly soon. I do have videos coming up in September that I did before I broke my leg, because I made them before I decided to have a little sojourn over the summer. So I've got a month's worth of videos already made, so there will be something on a weekly basis through September. Thank you for watching. Take care now. Bye.